Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Lori, it ended.
That's right. The trial of Lori Vallow is now complete. The long-awaited verdict is in, and yes, she is guilty on all 6 charges. We haven't covered the Lori Vallow situation much here on the 208, but we felt like today's verdict really is at the center of attention across our community and really across the country. So we wanted to dive into it with our team. And if you've never heard this woman's name before, which is unlikely, we'll tell you she is now guilty of the murder and conspiracy in the deaths of her 2 kids and her husband's former wife nearly 4 years ago now. 6 charges that Ms. Vallow was found guilty on are the following: conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan, first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder for J.J. Vallow, first-degree murder of J.J. Vallow, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder Tammy Daybell, and grand theft. And our Morgan Romero is live this evening for us at the Ada County Courthouse, where everything has gone down over the last several weeks. And Morgan, I know you and Shira have been following this very closely. Here at the end, what happened?
We have, Joe, thank you for going through those charges. 12 men and women found Lori Vallow guilty on all those charges you just listed a little before 1 o'clock this afternoon. That verdict, as it has to be, was unanimous. It comes after about 6 weeks of testimony and at times very horrific evidence. Around the courthouse today, both inside and outside, everyone was awaiting this conviction anxiously. There was a lot of anticipation. People had knots in their stomachs, they said. Reporters, myself included, sort of shaking. That also includes lead detective from the Rexburg Police Department, Ray Hermosillo, who's been on this case since the get-go, did a welfare check at Lori's house looking for JJ back in November of 2019. Shira and I saw him pacing the hallway on the 4th floor of the courthouse with the lead prosecutor in this case, Rob Wood. Both of them at the time, of course, very anxious. Our Alexandra Duggan was inside the courtroom. She reported seeing Hermosillo looking like he was wiping tears from his eyes, shaky as well as that verdict was read. The judge told everyone inside the courtroom ahead of the verdict being read not to react loudly, to keep order in the court. But outside the courthouse, it was a different story.
The defendant would please rise.
We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan. Answer, guilty. Is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Answer, guilty. Is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Answer, guilty. Is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of grand theft? Answer, guilty.
Life sentence, Lori. Yeah.
I asked a source close to the prosecution if at any point they ever doubted that jurors would convict Lori of murdering her kids. This source said that, of course, prosecutors always get nervous in a trial about whether jurors will agree with them on all counts, but they said they felt their case was really solid and they're really grateful. They're not going on camera because of Chad Daybell's pending trial next year, but they did send us a statement. I'm going to read you part of it. They say they're committed to pursuing justice for the victims. They said, "We are very pleased with the jury's verdict and we want to thank them as well as the alternates for their service over the last 6 weeks during this trial." They also thanked countless law enforcement and community members who worked tirelessly to hold Lori accountable. Many onlookers, as you heard, cheered once all 6 guilty counts were read. Some even cried. Rhonda Shields is one of those who cried. She says she's been following this case since the kids were reported missing, and she has deep ties to Rexburg.
I came yesterday because I wanted to just, give a little support, and
I was amazed at how different it feels actually being here and amongst people who, no matter what other beliefs are going on, everybody's here to show support and hope for justice for the people that have lost their lives through all this.
I also talked to a woman who was selected for jury duty in this case, but didn't get chosen to sit on the jury. She showed up today to see it through. The verdict came down quickly. Jurors started deliberating around 2 p.m. yesterday after closing arguments from both sides, and they went for more than 4 hours last night. Today, though, they deliberated for about 3 hours. Attorneys say it's impossible to predict when a jury will deliver a verdict, especially in a complicated case like this, where so much evidence was presented and not necessarily chronologically. The jury decided what the facts are based on the evidence presented, including witness testimony, and they had to apply it to Idaho law. They determined the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt all of the crimes happened. To be found guilty of first-degree murder in Idaho, the jury did not have to believe Lori actually physically killed Tylee, JJ, or Tammy, just that she told someone or encouraged someone to do it. In the defense's closing arguments yesterday, Jim Archibald pinned the case on Chad Daybell. He said he manipulated Lori using religion. Archibald told jurors the state has a complete lack of proof Lori killed her kids because she never explicitly said so and never had a plan. The defense said people testify that she was a good mom and spent her entire life protecting her kids. Clearly, though, jurors disagreed. During closing arguments yesterday, the prosecution said the evidence is clear. Lori was involved. Lori never reported her own kids missing and continued to collect money the kids were getting. Prosecutors closed the same way they opened. Very powerful, compelling statement. They told jurors this case is about money, power, and sex, and justice for the victims requires a guilty verdict. So, what happens next? Well, because this is Fremont County's case, they are going to take Lori from Ada County to Fremont County within the next week. She'll go to jail there, and then her sentencing is scheduled for 3 months from now. Again, that'll take place in Fremont County, and at that time, Lori could face the rest of her life behind bars. Joe?
All right, Morgan Romero reporting live from the Ada County Courthouse. We'll have more from Morgan later this evening. Thank you so much. Well, for all the families involved in this situation, they've been waiting for justice, and this verdict has been a long time coming. And our Shira Matsuzawa, she's been covering this really for 3 years, really since the very beginning of all of this, and she was there for the trial every day. It comes to an end here today, Shira, and I know that you've been in touch with the families.
Yeah, you know, it's been a long time coming, as you mentioned. They've been waiting for more than 3 years, and it's been a moment that these families have been waiting for justice, right? And moments after that verdict was read, JJ's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock, they actually came out of the courthouse and talked with the media. JJ and Tylee went missing in September of 2019, and it was JJ's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock, who sounded the alarm when they couldn't get a hold of JJ, and they asked for a welfare check. So today, a big day for them. Today, they embraced one another as that verdict was read. Larry said he told Kay he loved her when he heard that guilty verdict. And we'll hear from them in just a moment. You'll also hear from Tylee's aunt, Annie Cushing.
I'm sure everyone has paid attention in court. I want to personally thank and I want to personally hug every one of those jurors. What they went through, what they saw is mind-boggling. I hope that nobody ever has to go through this. I hope nobody ever has to see and hear the details of what happened to JJ, to Tylee, and to Tammy.
I feel elated. I mean, it's been 3.5 years waiting for this day. And, I was just absolutely over the moon that she was convicted on all 7 charges.
Now, I've spoken with Annie several times over the years when the kids first went missing and then when their remains were later found, but she stopped talking publicly a couple of years ago until today. And you'll hear more of my interview with her coming up on the news at 6 and 10, as well as what the Woodcocks had to say after that verdict was read. But a lot of emotions today, Joe.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions.
And you've been following it for the last 3 years. Does it feel like it's been 3 years or?
It's been off and on, especially I think COVID also. There were so many delays, and then obviously Lori also had a mental hold there as well, and so that impacted this trial and moving forward. So it kind of felt like, I think family members have told me that it felt like this moment never was going to happen, because there were so many delays throughout those years, but here we are.
Well, we are looking forward to more of your interview coming up at 6 o'clock with Annie Cushing. And I do want to say that we are going to continue our coverage of this trial deep into tonight and the days to come. And you can scan the QR code on your screen right now for a link to all of our coverage from throughout the trial dating back several years. We are going to take a step aside, but the 208 returns right after this.